What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of OTA Clips with Mac and Griff. Of course, we've been a little lazy, not going to lie, with these. We said every day. We took a bit of a hiatus just because only 2 games a day. We didn't really feel it necessary to post. And, we're also tired when these games are being played at 10 at night, starting at 10 at night. So really wasn't going to be ideal to post. So we decided we're going to film today just a recap of the Elite 8 round, everything that went down. And, I think this is a better format in terms of, everything. We'll kind of do the same thing for the Final Four for the 2 games there. And then for the finals, obviously, we'll release something as well for that. But today, we're just going to be recapping the Final Four. Obviously, the 4 teams going to be Houston, Baylor, Gonzaga, and the shocking 11 seed UCLA. A team in the first 4 makes the Final Four. Pretty crazy and historic to see that. They beat some good teams. So congratulations to all those teams, obviously, but really especially for UCLA. But the game we're starting with is going to be the first in the tournament, and it really was a heartbreaker for me. I was pulling for the Beavers here. Obviously, Houston wins this one 67-61. Oregon State came out very flat-footed in this one. They only scored 17 points in the first half. Came close towards the end, but ultimately just couldn't get it done. So, Mac, I'll flip this one to you. Your thoughts on this game. Obviously, tough loss for Oregon State, but they had a great season. I mean, for a team that might not even have made the tournament, what a run they went on.
Yep, this was a great run for the Oregon State Beavers, and really, you just look at the stats from this game, and right away, you're going to be surprised by this. Field goals. Who shot better? The Beavers shot much better than the Cougars did. They had 47 shots and made 22 of them for 46.8 shooting percentage. But the Cougars, they shot 32.3% on 62 shots. They couldn't shoot, Griffin. They could not shoot at all. And you're looking at them shooting from 3. They shot 32 threes, made 11 of them for 34.4 percentage from 3, of course. But really just at that, I believe if the Beavers, if they were able to shoot from 3 just a little bit more this game, if they were able to have some more control offensively, I think the Beavers easily would have won this game. And that's really going down to the offensive rebounds and the total rebounds from this game. Houston, they finished with 41 total rebounds, 19 offensively to the Beavers. They only had 29 rebounds and 7 offensively. So the Cougars, although they were missing a lot of those shots, they were able to get the second opportunities to score points. You're looking at guys like Quentin Grimes, who had 18 points, Marcus Sasser, who had 20 points, who were really able to carry this Houston Cougars team. For Oregon State, offensively, they really couldn't get many players going. You had only 2 players scoring over 10 points, in Ethan Thompson and Maurice Callow, or however you pronounce that. But you're going and you're looking up at the stats or the box score, as you said earlier, when you were previewing this game. The Beavers, they scored 17 points in the first half. They could not get a thing going in the first half compared to the Cougars. But defensively, they were really consistent throughout the entire game. 34 points given up to the Cougars in the first half, 33 in the second half. So defensively, they were consistent. Offensively, if they're able to put some more points up on the board in the first half instead of getting things rolling in the second half, the Beavers team easily would have won this game.
Yeah, Houston in this one just out-rebounded Oregon State, and that's why they won this game. I mean, like you said, 12 extra rebounds. They were dominant on the glass. Those second chance points, they dominated, and that was the key. And, they didn't shoot well, Houston. I mean, this team, in my eyes, is going to get, honestly, killed by the Baylor Bears. I think they're in for a rude awakening. I believe they play the Baylor Bears, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it's UCLA.
They do. Yeah. So the Baylor Bears, I mean, they're going to wipe the floor with them. So your Baylor Bears will be waltzing into the next round. But Houston, I mean, this team has just been mediocre all tournament. They haven't played a seed lower than a 10, which is just ridiculous that that's happened for them. So they've essentially walked and they've played all these close games. I mean, they've looked bad in the whole tournament. They're just not a good team in my eyes. I mean, look, who won this game for them? Quentin Grimes, Marcus Sasser, like you say, but DeJon Jarreau has been one of their best players in the tournament, and it really stuck. I mean, this guy's been dealing with injuries the whole time. He's obviously had those hip issues, all those problems. This guy stayed on the court. He's fought through, and, just an awesome contributor on the floor. You saw that 10 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. That's someone who's doing it all, and that's what this team needs. They need one of those guys who can do everything, not just shoot the ball per se, like a Quentin Grimes, Marcus Sasser, but someone who can do everything on the floor, led the team in assists, second in rebounds, third in points. I mean, that's an ideal player. He's been so great for them this tournament. On the flip side, though, Oregon State, that first half just killed them. If they had it going a little more offensively, they win this game. If they get a few more rebounds, they probably win this game. Houston was just able to shoot more threes and they made more free throws. That's, really what they got. And, Oregon State only did shoot 55% from the line. So you can look at that as a reason they lost this game. But, this team has played so tough. They've beaten good teams. They beat, Cade Cunningham, Oklahoma State. They beat, I believe, Tennessee first round in the tournament. I mean, those are highly ranked seeds, 4 or 5 seeds. They also beat Loyola Chicago, which was a shocker to me. I mean, one of the best defensive teams in the country. They went out and, really, they kind of classed them, in my eyes. So really good run for this team. They proved a lot of people wrong. Ethan Thompson was great for them in this tournament. He was probably the best player all around, I would say. He contributed 11.7 boards, 6 assists. So there was no real other star efforts from Oregon State. And I think they're offensively, they were just lacking, just a significant amount of less shots. Turnovers, they were fine. And, foul trouble, they were definitely in foul trouble, though. 20 fouls, I mean, that's never a good thing, never a good sign. Obviously, some of those do come late when you're fouling the other team, trying to, get your last chance. So can't look at that difference too much, but at the end of the day, they were getting in foul trouble relatively early in this game. But tough way to go out. But Houston, for me, is they're just a fraud. They've kind of had an easy way in. They've beaten a lot of teams close. So we'll see what happens. But I do believe the Baylor Bears are going to do well. And with that, I believe the Baylor Bears are next up. And they beat the Arkansas Razorbacks, a tough one for me to swallow a little bit at the end of the day. But those Razorbacks, the bracket was busted. But the Baylor Bears, at the end of the day, one of the best offensive teams in the country. Good defensive team as well, but Arkansas offensively is a strong team. They shot 48% from the field, but they just struggled, in terms of turning the ball over as well as from the 3-point range. So, Mac, what are your thoughts? Baylor Bears get it done. They had that big lead in the first, and Arkansas really couldn't get too close in the second half.
Yeah, the Baylor Bears came out on top this game, and Arkansas, as you said, the Baylor Bears, they have one of the better defenses in the tournament, and Arkansas, they were able to prove that they could score points against the Baylor Bears. It was just a matter of could they stop their offense, which they obviously couldn't in this game. And you're looking at how both teams performed offensively. They both shot over 48% or about 48% from the field. But what really made the difference here, I believe, is when you look at the 3-point shooting percentage. The Razorbacks, they shot 27.3% from 3. That's 3 for 11. They didn't make many shots. They didn't even take many shots from 3. And I think that's where the real difference is here. And then you're looking at the Baylor Bears. They went 8 for 15 at 53.3% shooting from 3. So Baylor Bears, they were able to capitalize on those 3-pointers, and the Razorbacks couldn't. If the Razorbacks were able to make a few more of those shots, this game is easily a much closer game in the end. But obviously, that's not the way it turned out. And then you go and you're looking down and you're looking at the turnovers, as you said, 15 for the Razorbacks, 9 for the Baylor Bears. That's obviously an advantage for the Bears. They were able to capitalize on those turnovers, and that's why you're seeing the Bears taking 8 more shots, than the Arkansas Razorbacks. If you don't turn the ball over that many times, this game is obviously going to be much closer as well. So 3-pointers and the turnovers is what was going to kill the Razorbacks in this game. But you're looking for Baylor. Some of the players that went off were Masio, however you say that, Teague. He had 22 points, 5 rebounds. Then you got players like Jared Butler, 14 points, Davion Mitchell, 12, Adam Flagler with 10. And then for Arkansas, you had players who played solid offensively, had solid offensive players with Jalen Tate scoring 13, Devontae Davis scoring 14, Moses Moody, I know you kind of like him, with 11 points in this game. But the Baylor Bears, they were really able to capitalize on their offensive opportunities, and the Razorbacks, those little missed opportunities with the turnovers is what's really killed them.
Yeah, Baylor Bears, you got to give them credit. They looked a little shaky in that game before, I believe, against they played Villanova, and the Wisco game, it was a little close, but they ended up pulling through in these games. Baylor Bears are a good team at the end of the day. Like I said, I expect this team to be in the finals with relative ease. You look at their players. Davion Mitchell, dude, that guy. I mean, in the words of Stephen A. Smith, that guy can ball. He's legit. Same numbers, Donovan Mitchell, D Mitchell, pretty funny. I don't know if that's a coincidence or what the deal is there, but he's good. He obviously only did score 12, but he's been good throughout the tournament for them. Like you said, the Baylor Bears just shot good from 3, and that's why they won this game. I mean, they made 5 more threes. They shot over 50% from three. And when you do that, you're probably in a really good spot. They were good from the free throw line. Both teams had similar numbers from there. And for Arkansas, tough way to go out. They've, had obviously some close games. They weren't necessarily the best team, which is why I think Baylor, did end up beating them. They haven't been playing their best basketball in the tournament. They've been getting away with some close wins. But, like you said, Tate and Moody and Devontae Davis, those three guards are stars. I love them a lot. I think it was a great pair for them. Obviously, do have JD Notae off the bench as well. But, those three guys, they're talented. Moses Moody's probably the most, but there was just times, there was a time in this game, Jalen Tate really went off, Devontae Davis. I mean, they go through stretches, each of them. And, they're all kind of, solid players. I don't know what their future will be in terms of, NBA talent. I really am not the best at putting that together, to be honest. I always kind of get confused with that stuff. But, a tough way to go out for the backs. But at least you lost to a really good team like the Baylor Bears. I mean, nothing to be ashamed of there. You made the, Elite Eight for the first time and, God knows how long for that program. So definitely not a failure of a season for the Razorbacks and for the Baylor Bears. They're looking good going into the Final Four. Definitely got a good chance, but they're going to have to go up against a very good team, and that will be potentially in the finals, which is the Zags. I mean, this Gonzaga team is really incredible, Mac. You look anywhere. I mean, USC, a team that's coming in so hot. They just beat Oregon, who's so highly regarded, by 14. They beat Kansas by over 30. I mean, this team has been on a roll, and they get to Gonzaga and they just get lit up. I mean, what are your thoughts on this game? I mean, Gonzaga to me is just I don't know if any team can even come close to the Zags right now.
Yeah, right now it's not looking like any team will come close to the Zags. You're beating out the Trojans, who have been playing fairly well in the past few games. You beat them by, 19 points, and they really won this game in the first half. You're looking at, they're up 49-30 just in the first. I mean, this game was basically over at the point. There's no way the Trojans are going to come up and outscore them by 19 points on the second half. It's just not going to happen against the Zags. So they really won this game in that first half. The stats, they shot 50 from the field, where the Trojans, they shot 38.7. Just really better all around. You're looking at three-pointers, 33.3% to 26.7%. Free throws, they shot a little bit worse at around 71%, where the Trojans shot 74%. But you're looking at rebounds, 41 for the Zags, 29 for the Trojans. I mean, it feels like a common theme. Whichever team is able to out rebound the other team is the team that's going to win the past few games. We've been talking, the teams who could shoot better will be the teams that wins. But now it's looking like the team that could out rebound the other team is a team that's winning. And you're looking at players who balled out in this game for the Zags. Drew Timme, 23 points, 5 rebounds. But Jalen Suggs, man, 18 points and 10 rebounds. He's going up and getting that ball. And another player who's also doing that is Corey Crisper with 18 points, 8 rebounds. You're having 3 guys who are putting up star player points, and they are star players, easily going to be in the league soon enough. But for the Trojans, the Mobley brothers, they were not enough to get it done this game versus the Zags. They combined for 36 points, 19 for Isaiah Mobley, 17 for Evan Mobley. But yeah, you're looking down the board. None of them were really able to rebound that greatly. Isaiah Mobley had the most with 7 rebounds. But overall, the Zags, they're just a much better team offensively and defensively. And right now, it's not looking like any team will come close to them.
Yeah. I was kind of waiting, Jalen Suggs going to be probably top 5 pick, even higher, top 3 potentially in the draft. I was waiting for this kid to have that big game. I feel like he hadn't had his star-studded game this tournament, and this was that game for me, for him. He just showed his all-around talent. I mean, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. This guy is a playmaker. He can do it all. It's pretty funny that he went to the same high school as, Paige Buckers, who's, doing her thing at UConn. She's, phenomenal basketball player. She's going to be, one of the best players in the WNBA, for sure, #1 overall pick whenever she enters there. And, obviously Chet Holmgren, I believe is his name, one of the top recruits for the next coming year, I believe. But yeah, Drew Timme, Jalen Suggs, Corey Kispert, I mean, these are the best 3 players. These are all, EPL teamers, whatever that thing's called. I forget if it's, first it's all different for each sport. So whatever, they're all on the top 3 teams. First time I think a team has had 3 players in the top 15 in ages. So good for them. I mean, those guys are great. Drew Timme has been so hot in this tournament, 23 points. And, like we said, I was high on USC coming into the tournament because of those Mobley brothers. I mean, those guys are stars. Evan's, going to go into the league. I don't know, Isaiah, exactly what his pathing will be. He's good too, though. I expect him to honestly have success wherever he goes. But like you said, I mean, these guys have been playing great. They've been blowing out good teams. And it just shows that Gonzaga is just levels above everyone. I mean, they're making USC look like a middle school team, and USC has been one of the top teams in this tournament. If they go play any of those other teams in the Final Four right now, I think USC has a very good shot to beat all of those teams, which just shows the levels Gonzaga's on. I mean, they shot 50%. You read the stats. I mean, this team's just dominant. They can do it all. They spread the ball to all their players. They're not a greedy team. I mean, it's just such a good team. So well coached by Mark Few. And I truly don't believe a team, after what I've seen from them so far in this tournament. I mean, you look at their games so far. They obviously had that joke of a game against Norfolk State. They bodied Oklahoma. They took Creighton to church, and I mean, in USC. I mean, it's just like their 4 games have just been domination. I mean, I don't see a team, especially with UCLA on the schedule. I mean, these guys are going to be going to the finals. It's going to be them versus Baylor unless something crazy happens. And, I still believe the Zags will win that. So with that, obviously, last game in the tourney, the Wolverines finally went down. It was good to see that happen. I've been waiting for them all freaking tournament to lose. Obviously, dealing without Isaiah Livers. You're a little laggy, so I don't know if you were saying something there, but I'll just pass this one to you. Obviously, close game, coming down to the wire, comes down to some buzzer beater shots. Close one, but obviously UCLA won this one. Stat sheet's a little deceiving. You'd think Michigan won, but UCLA just had more fight and heart at the end of the day.
Yep. As you said, the stat sheet would tell you that Michigan won if you were just looking at those stats. They shot better from the field by about 1%. They shot better from 3 by 4%, but they didn't shoot better from the free throw line. Of course, the Bruins, they only shot 7 times, but they made 6 of those at an 85.7% percentage from the line. Michigan, they shot there 11 times. They made 6 also for a 54.5 percentage. But really, UCLA, they were carried by 2 players, and they scored 39 of the 51 points for the Bruins. And this is Johnny Juzang, who scored 28 points, and Tiger Campbell, who scored 11 points. You're looking, these players were only guys who were scoring points for this team. No one came close to them. You had 3 guys scoring 4 points, and everyone else scored nothing. So that just goes to show you how carried this team was by just 2 players. They only got 3 rebounds combined, but you let those guys who were scoring 4 points go and get some of those rebounds. But Michigan, they out-rebounded them as well. You had players like Hunter Dickinson, who scored 11 points, but really no one was able to get going on that side for the Wolverines. But the Bruins, they won this game with solid defense and through those 2 players, Johnny Juzang and Tiger Campbell.
Yeah, the Bruins really, came out. This was a rough game for both these teams. Oh, no.
Hey.
Well, my dog is there's.
All right, we got a little yelling, some Griffin muting.
Oh boy, the dog is.
Boy.
Get the dog. Oh my God, it's a mess over here. But I'm gonna, break this one down. Like you said, Johnny Juzang. This guy's been. Get the dog out of here. Throw her out of the house. But yeah, like we said, Johnny Juzang, this kid's been a stud this tournament, and so is Tiger Campbell. I mean, Tiger Campbell, Mr. J. Cole, should I say, dropping 11. He's aggressive defensively. He can log up your best guard. I love this kid. He's great. He'll have a matchup with Jalen Suggs, which will be a lot more difficult. But Johnny Juzang, I mean, this dude's a baller, 28 points. I mean, this kid has been carrying this team as the best player on the team. And, he got them there, and he's proved why he is, one of the top players. Key for me on the stat sheet, turnovers, Michigan, 6 more than the Bruins. But, Michigan, Juwan Howard, this guy deserves a lot of credit. He coached the team so well. Without Livers in this tournament, they played great. They got to the Elite Eight, but, he drew up that great play. Wagner got open, and Mans airballed the shot. I mean, that is just, you can't do that if you're Franz Wagner. You're a guy who, people think could have an NBA chance. Your brother's in the league, and you get a wide open 3, best look of the night, maybe for your team. Your coach draws this beautiful play, and then you airball by like 5 feet, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's unacceptable. And then he had the game-winning shot, and he missed too. I mean, this guy sucks. He can't hit a shot. He's not clutch. Michigan fans, it was great to see you guys lose. Obviously, Ohio State went down early, but this is had some great moments. But when Mr. Franz had that airball, I mean, he had 4 points on the day. I mean, that guy is a stiff. I'm going to declare him stiff He's not gonna be in the league. That guy sucks. Just as much as that other bum from Alabama does. Whatever that guy's name is. I don't even remember. That dude sucks. But Franz Wagner, I mean, what are you doing, dude? 2 shots and you miss them both. I mean, the buzzer beater was contested, but that wide open look, I mean, at least hit the backboard or the rim or something. I mean, you missed a shot like in its entirety. And UCLA fed you the ball. They missed that 3 in the corner. You get the ball, you go to the huddle, and then you do that. Franz Wagner, you are a scrub, and you do not deserve to be in the league. That's all I got to say. On the Michigan side of that game, UCLA, Johnny Juzang, we'll see. Obviously, he's going to have to go and drop 50 to beat Gonzaga. Probably won't happen, but we'll see what happens there.
We will see what happens. UCLA, obviously, as you said, off to face the number 1 seed Gonzaga, an 11 seed versus number 1 seed, and then we're going to have the number 2 seed Houston go and face the number 1 seed in the Baylor Bears. So obviously some great matchups we'll be covering for you guys. These episodes are sadly getting much shorter, but we're still rolling them out for you guys. I'm not sure what day those next games are, but let me check that real quick.
I think it's probably Saturday.
Saturday. The game's a little bit earlier, the second game, the Gonzaga UCLA game. So I think we could probably get a late episode out. Hopefully it's at 8:30. So I'm sure we could try and figure something out to get it out that night. But with that, is that all you got for today?
Yeah, that's all I got. You can wrap it up.
All right. My internet connection is unstable, so let's see how this goes. But as always, everyone, we appreciate you all for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, not only on this channel, but on our main channel, Outside the Arena. Please make sure to go subscribe or follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, which is also Outside the Arena. And feel free to reach out to us and hit us up if you want to come on, talk some sports with us on this channel, or even just talk with us in general. Make sure to follow us on our Instagrams. That's going to be the best place to reach out to us. My Instagram is mac.rummel. Griffin's Instagram is
Griffin Senek.
And our podcast Instagram is Outside the Arena Podcast. Make sure to go follow us there, as I just said. And as always, we hope you all stay safe, and we will see you all on Saturday.